Hare Krishna. Welcome to Tax Guru YouTube channel. This is C. Rohanar, a practicing chartered accountant based in Mumbai, also partner in Motilal and Associates LLP, member firm of Marks Network. Welcome to the video series What Law Says. And today we are going to discuss one important case law reported to High Court, and that is on the subject tax recovery powers and constitutional jurisdiction. So let's dive into it. Let me allow to share my screen. Yes. So today in-depth analysis of what direct tax case laws reported to High Court. So let's dive into it directly. Let's start with it. Case citation. Capgemini Technology Services India Limited versus DCIT, Bombay High Court, relevant assessment year 2001-2 to 2003-4. Date of order 24th March 2026, very latest. Relevant section, section 127, section 220 of the Income Tax Act 1961 and article 226, subarticle 2. Let's understand facts of the case. The petitioner was Capgemini Technology Services India Limited, a successor entity after amalgamation or restructuring involving what predecessor companies. Outstanding tax demands pertaining to the predecessor company were sought to be recovered. Demand related to which assessment year? 2001-2, assessment year 2002-3, assessment year 2003-4. So revenue sought recovery of old outstanding tax demand against the successor company. Very important. What it involves is what? Predecessor company and a successor company. So revenue sought recovery of old outstanding tax demand against the successor company. So demand related to predecessor entity and the petitioner challenged the recovery proceedings. Let's see what were the issues under consideration. Whether tax recovery proceedings under section 220 can be sustained when revenue is unable to produce the underlying assessment order or lawful demand notice. Whether old outstanding tax demand reflected in records alone is sufficient basis for pursue recovery, and that is to from predecessor to successor company. Whether after transfer of jurisdiction under section 127, the original assessing officer continues to retain authority or not. Very important issue also. Then whether Bombay High Court had a territorial jurisdiction under Article 226 sub Article 2 when original proceedings originated in Delhi. That is also very important. Very interesting case law this is. So I have taken it for it. Whether a successor company can be compelled to satisfy predecessor's demand without clear legal foundation. So let's see relevant legal provisions involved. Section 220 Income Tax Act 1961, that is demand recovery provisions, provides for what? Payment of tax specified in notice of the demand, time within which such demand must be discharged, consequences of default. Then section 127 of the Income Tax Act 1961, transfer of cases, empowers competent authority to transfer a case from one assessing officer to another officer. And then Article 226, Subarticle 2, Constitution of India provides a High Court can exercise jurisdiction if whole or part cause of action arises within its territorial limits. So let's see what were the petitioner contentions. Petitioner contended that no assessment order supporting the alleged demand was available. Very important. No valid demand notice was shown. Recovery was being attempted merely on the basis of old departmental records. Delhi authorities had ceased to have jurisdiction after the transfer, and part cause of action arose in Pune. So these are the contentions of the petition. Let's see what revenues contended. Revenue contended that original proceedings originated in Delhi. Impugned notices were issued by Delhi authority. Therefore, Bombay High Court lacked territorial jurisdiction. Let's see what High Court observed in this case. Article 2 to 6, Sub-Article 2 widen the jurisdictional scope. Constitutional test is cause of action. Mere location of authority is not determinative. Hence, part cause of action arose within the Bombay High Court jurisdiction. Transfer includes pending proceedings, completed matters, consequential proceedings too. So, what transfer includes pending proceedings, completed matters, and consequential proceedings too. Tax recovery requires what? Lawful origin. Then revenue could not establish assessment order, valid demand creation, statutory basis of recovery. Mere existence of departmental records is what? Insufficient, is what High Court observed. Burden lies on the revenue to establish the lawful tax liability. Taxpayer cannot be expected to rebut an undocumented demand. So recovering tax from a successor company without a documentary basis would be arbitrary and unfair. Means what? You can recover from the successor company, but tag from without any documentary basis will be what? Arbitrary and unfair. Tax administration must act within the legal framework, is what High Court observed. Let's see what High Court held. Bombay High Court held that the Bombay High Court had the territorial jurisdiction, is what High Court held. Recovery proceedings unsupported by assessment order cannot be sustained. Very important to note. Recovery proceedings unsupported by assessment order cannot be sustained. Tax recovery cannot be based merely on the departmental data entries. So, post transfer under Section 127, Delhi authority ceased to retain the operative jurisdiction, and then it is the pass on to the Bombay. So, successor company cannot be compelled to satisfy undocumented predecessor liabilities. What? Successor company cannot be compelled to satisfy undocumented predecessor liabilities. Very important. So, what principles laid down by the case are recovery requires what? Valid demand. Very much important. Revenue records alone are not sufficient. Section 127 transfer is a comprehensive. Cause of action determines with jurisdiction. Successor companies retain the legal protections, and revenue bears what? Evidentiary burden. So, practical takeaways we can take away from this given case are: verify old outstanding demands carefully. Ask for assessment order. Very important. Ask for what? Assessment order. Then only demand then your demand will be sustained. So ask for notice of the demand. Check jurisdiction transfer orders. Very important. Examine whether recovery authority retains the jurisdiction or not. Then successor entities should review predecessor liabilities critically. Then read remedy may be even maintainable where consequences are suffered. So these are the practical takeaways we can take away from the given case. Very interesting case this was. So thank you so much for patient hearing. If you have any questions, observations, suggestions, then do let me know via WhatsApp, email, or you can also comment below the video. If you have not yet subscribed Tax YouTube channel, then do subscribe for latest updates and video series like this. Hope you are gaining valuable knowledge from all these updates and video series which we are conducting from our Tax YouTube channel. So thank you so much once again. Bye bye. Take care. See you soon. Hare Krishna.